Sometimes, sometimes I feel like the MMO genre is kind of cursed. Or maybe, maybe it's just that all these MMOs that I put in this 1 hour video of upcoming MMOs are cursed. Am I the problem? Am I part of the problem, or am I the problem? Because damn, the Warhammer MMO, one of the MMOs I was cautiously optimistic about, despite being published by NetEase, is in trouble and the future is suddenly more uncertain. Like many of the MMOs in that video that are already canceled. Following the head-scratching layoffs by NetEase following Marvel Rivals being, I don't know, I guess too successful, their carnage seemingly has only just begun, and Jackalyptic Games, who are making the Warhammer MMO, could be up for sale. This comes from a report that NetEase is looking to sell most of its studios it had acquired in the last 3 years per game file. Most is an important thing that we'll talk about here, because we also need to talk about Fantastic Pixel Castle and the Ghost MMO. But let's stick with the Warhammer MMO for now. So one of those studios obtained in the last 3 years is the aforementioned Jackalyptic Games, which is helmed by Jack Emmert, who had worked on MMOs like City of Heroes when he was with Cryptic and DCUO when he worked with Daybreak. Basically the superhero MMO guy. As far as we know, this MMO was most likely going to be a Warhammer 40k MMO, given some pretty heavy hints, and this post uncovered by the reader of Massively OP, which basically confirms that yes, it's an official, unofficial confirmation. Nothing seems to have changed on the official Jackalyptic Games website so far, and currently there hasn't been any kind of announcement yet. All of this seemingly falls on the fickleness of NetEase's CEO and co-founder, who's been slashing games, developers, and studios in a mad rush towards profit, as reported by Bloomberg. Given that the same Bloomberg report reported that they had been recruiting financial students to run games, well then maybe it's better off that the Warhammer MMO does get sold off. But it would be a real tragedy and curse if for some reason this MMO does not actually get to see the light of day, because that would be the second time a Warhammer 40k MMO got canceled before it actually launched. And they've been working on this game for about, I think at this point, about 2 to 3 years now, like ramping up the team really in 2023. I and many others still wonder what could have been if the Warhammer 40k MMO Dark Millennium had actually been able to launch, if it had actually been able to finish. It joins another heap of a lot of MMOs that could have been, that never were, and were canceled in development. I'm really hoping this one does not join that stack, because it would be so unfair to fans of the Warhammer 40k IP. One thing I've seen reported on less than the Jackalyptic Games thing, though, is Fantastic Pixel Castle, because that one is also funded by NetEase. Fantastic Pixel Castle being the MMO studio created by former WoW dev and Riot dev Ghostcrawler, Greg Street. However, as recently as just a few hours ago via an email sent from Greg Street to Polygon, we actually have some good news about this MMO. Greg Street reassured fans of the game that they are aggressively working on Ghost, and that they, quote, feel like they are in a stronger position now because NetEase has been evaluating their portfolio and decided Ghost is one they want to focus on. Additionally, a public test for Ghost is scheduled this week. Again, that would be a terrible turn of fate if this game didn't get to see the light of day, given that Greg Street, Ghostcrawler, had left the Riot MMO to go and fund this studio. The Riot MMO is also in that video and is on very uncertain, shaky ground. Shit, I really did curse a lot of MMOs with that video. but that's at least some good news in an otherwise shitty week for gaming news, that we will be having, that this Ghost MMO will continue going. But between the NetEase carnage and the Warner Brothers fiasco of culling even more game devs, canceling more projects, and cutting some legendary studios like Monolith, which made the Shadow of Mordor games, you know what? Hey, at least Warner Brothers got to keep their fantastic patent on the Nemesis system that they were using to make the now canceled Wonder Woman game. So I can't, and they're gonna keep it until 2036. So I can't wait to see what they don't do for the next 10 years with that patent. That would be really cool in a game. I've even had like fever dreams of them using it in MMOs. That would have been awesome. An MMO with a Nemesis system. But hey, there's good stuff happening in MMOs too. Here's hoping we get the same kind of good news from Jackalyptic Games before too long that we got about Ghost, and that these MMOs continue chugging along, because we need new MMOs. And we do have a couple on the horizon. We actually have some that are really exciting, including the funding of the Kickstarter of the Stars Reach, which basically reached their needed total, which was only $200,000, but they reached it in I think 10 hours or something like that. They reached it very, very quickly. If you want to see some of the MMOs I'm most excited about in this year, some MMOs that I hope will do really well and I'm expecting good things from this year, well, I covered those earlier this year in this video right here. I hope I didn't curse them too.